Shamar Stewart versus the Cincinnati Bengals is the biggest contract dispute in NFL history. Let me tell you why. The Bengals drafted him 17th overall. Kid out of Texas A&M. He's a defensive end, pass rusher. Got a lot of big traits. When players get drafted, in the NFL at least, there's usually not too much commotion. The contracts are fully guaranteed. They are already, the pay rate has already been agreed to years in advance. The NFL union, as well as the NFL owners, agreed to this 10, 15 years ago. Fully guaranteed contracts, 4 years. You get a lower pay rate. If you can play well, stay out of trouble, your 5th year is your big payday. So when rookies get drafted, they sign the paperwork and they start practicing. There is no dispute. 99% NFL all sign the contract the first day. Like there's nothing to dispute. But the issue is the Bengals have still not, 2 or 3 months after drafting him, offered him a contract. And some of you are like, no, they did. He just didn't sign it. Incorrect. The Cincinnati Bengals have not offered him the contract that the union negotiated for. Every NFL owner signed on that they would offer first-round picks, second-round picks, third-round picks, the entire draft, the contract, and the first overall pick gets paid more than the 17th overall pick, but every pick, you can Google it, has a set pay rate. The Cincinnati Bengals said, we'll pay you, but it's not going to be fully guaranteed. Well, that completely changes the dynamic of the contract when you go from a fully guaranteed $17 million per year to a we can cut you at any time for any reason. Well, that's completely different. Completely different. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, well, why are the Bengals doing this? The Bengals are doing this for 2 reasons. Number one, they are a super cheap organization. Super cheap. And they obviously, if he's not playing, he's getting paid a little bit over $4 million per year. If they think he sucks, or if he gets injured, or if he gets arrested, the Bengals do not want to pay him. And that's understandable. You know, I kind of get that at face value. The issue with this is because there are no negotiations allowed, only one side is negotiating here. And that's not really how contracts work. You enter in a contract dispute, and only the owners, who are the more powerful entity, only they can negotiate. The player, he goes in, and imagine this for a second. The players, you know, when you get drafted, they told, you know, his agent said, you're going to sign a 4-year contract, $17 million, fully guaranteed. And he's like, okay. Imagine any of these players said, I want more pay. Imagine any of them said that. NFL fans would freak out. They would say, man, you're an ungrateful asshole, just a young, stuck-up prick. Why can't you do what you're told? NFL fans would go insane. They would say, why are you negotiating? Sign what's put in front of you. Do what you're told. And okay, so the players aren't allowed to ask for anything. They can't ask for more pay. They can't ask for incentives. They can't ask for an injury protection. Nothing. They get nothing other than what the union negotiated for them. The NFL owners, apparently, they can negotiate for anything they want. So we have a set contract that was negotiated and agreed to, and only one side is able to neg on it. One side can negotiate down, and the other side can't say anything. Doesn't make any sense to me. And what makes it even crazier is if anyone was ever going to dispute a contract, and I don't think either side should dispute, because when you sign up for the NFL draft, you're joining the NFL's union. And when you join a union, you do what the union wants you to do. That's the whole point of a union, is we're stronger together. The NFL owners, same thing. We're stronger together. If we don't like something, we go to the head of the union, whether that's the NFL owners and Roger Goodell, or if it's the NFLPA. You go to the top of the union and say, this is what I would like to do. You don't try to do it on your own. That defeats the point of the union. But it begs the question, Shamar Stewart was drafted by the Bengals. He didn't ask to go to the Bengals. The Bengals said, we want you. We think you're worth this. But then they're like, actually, we don't really think you're worth it. And at the end of the day, what the Bengals want, and it's not really about the $17 million per year. What the Bengals want is they want power over the players. That is, at the end of the day, what this owner wants. He doesn't care about championships. He doesn't care about how good this team is. He's the cheapest owner in the NFL. He waits to the last minute to sign Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, Trey Hendrickson, the other defensive end. Ironically enough, the Bengals have two defensive ends holding out. That should tell you something. When you've got two guys holding out, I mean, they actually had Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins both holding out, but they got paid. When you've got two guys at the same position holding out with different situations, it's like, okay, well, what's going on here? Why are the only two guys in the NFL holding out? They're both on the same team at the same position. That's a bit odd. But what the Bengals owner wants to do is he wants to be the guy that sticks it to the players and forces them to sign an unfavorable contract. He wants to be the guy that can go to the NFL meetings and say, look at me. I'm the guy that has the balls to force him to either retire, because Shemar Stewart, he's got three options: retire, not sign the contract to get zero pay, and rejoin the NFL draft next season, go a whole year without pay, lose draft stock, or sign a bad contract. So Shemar Stewart loses in all three situations. The Cincinnati Bengals owner, he wants to stick it to the players. And let's find out his name. Bengals owner. Kind of blanked on his name. Mike Brown. Yep, I knew that. Mike Brown. And let's get a good picture of him. Looks like a great guy. Not going to screw anyone out of money. But yeah, at the end of the day, what this is about is Mike Brown wants to go to other NFL owners and say, look at what I did for you guys. I set a precedent that we're going to force players to play with no guarantees. He wants to be that guy. More than winning, more than fame, more than making profit. He wants to be the guy that sticks it to the players. And Shemar Stewart's got a big decision. Look, a lot of the bootlickers are saying he should sign anything. If they offered a minimum wage, he should do it because he's an ungrateful little bastard. That's what most of the Facebook boomers would tell you. Is back in my day, I would do anything, man. These ungrateful NFL players. And you've got more reasonable people who have an IQ above 50 saying he should stick to his guns and he should protect the union and he should not sign it. And that's kind of the camp I'm in. I don't think he should sign it. The non-guaranteed contract, even though every other NFL player in history that has been drafted has gotten a guaranteed contract. I don't think he should sign it, but here's the thing. You are losing out on money because next year he's not going to be a first-round draft pick. He's going to have waited a year. And he's also losing out on all the money he would have made this year if he played and they didn't cut him. And it's unlikely they cut him in the first season. So it's easy for me to say, yeah, you should stick to your guns and you should stick up for the union. But it's like, going to get no money? Going to lose draft capital? I mean, it really is a lose-lose situation. And it will be interesting to see what he does. For the sake of the players, he probably should sit out. Maybe the NFL union can compensate him if they've got money saved up. That probably is the best situation, is they compensate him to kind of stick it to the owners and say, we agreed to this and you need to uphold your end.